The Commentary Booth is a show for media lovers by media lovers just like you. If you want to support the show, go to pariomagazine.com.au. Welcome to the Commentary Booth, the ultimate weekly entertainment recap and review show. My name is Jamie Apps, and each week I'll be joined by a rotating cast of co-hosts to run you through the entertainment media we've consumed during the week. Along the way, we'll provide you with insightful commentary and reviews. So this week I'm joined by a fellow owner of a Jack Russell named Toby. In terms of his movie loves, I'm not sure about this one, but I'm fairly confident in saying that his favorite movie is John Wick. Welcome to the show, the man of many monikers, one half of the current reigning and defending PWA Tag Team Champions, the Velocities, the Groovy Gladiator, Jude, the Dude, London.
Well, man, what's going on? That was quite the introduction. Very good and very impressed. And you are correct about my favorite movie being John Wick. I guess that's not much of a secret, is it?
Yeah, I figured based on the finishing move, it was pretty obvious.
Yeah, you're one of the, not a lot of people have picked up on that. I guess you're a fan of the franchise and you definitely are. But yeah, good pick, man. I thought about that finishing move just watching, I think it was John Wick 2 on a plane back to Australia from the UK. I just saw some of the fight choreography and that particular movement stuck out to me. So I thought I'd just try it out. And here I am today using it as my finishing maneuver.
Awesome. And you've got like the two monikers now, the Groovy Gladiator and the Dude.
Yeah, that's right, man. Maybe it'll just be a thing as time goes by. Maybe I'll just add on some more names, or maybe I don't know, maybe I'll stick with the Groovy Gladiator for a while. I kind of like that one. You
just need to add one to the end, and then if you've got the start, middle, and end.
Yeah, man. Maybe something like the Dogfather. How about that?
Yep. How is Toby?
He is very cheeky, but very good. He's like a middle-aged man now. He's 6 years old. He's chilling out in the sun. Actually, I just checked on him. I'm keen to take him for his daily walk today because it's looking like a nice sunny day. Very nice day outside. Yeah. How's your little guy?
He's good. He's doing the same thing, just chilling out in the sun. I think as soon as the sun comes out, that's his favorite place to go, lay out on the mat at the back door.
100%.
So then in terms of the movies and TV shows and stuff you've been watching, what have you checked out recently?
Yeah, so I'll say this up front. I'm pretty renowned amongst my friendship circle for being terrible at keeping up with like current TV shows and movies just in general. So most recently, the TV shows I haven't been keeping up to date. I have like a bunch of shows on my backlog that I'll go back and watch. My girlfriend got Disney Plus, so she was very excited to watch WandaVision together. And I'm not a big Marvel Cinematic Universe guy, but I watched it with her and I found it very entertaining. Obviously, I didn't appreciate some of the, I guess, references and Easter eggs as much as she did and some other people do. But myself recently, I've been using Disney Plus to watch through Futurama. Great show, great cartoon. I actually had never seen anything past, I think it's season 6, where they split up the episodes into all the movies, like Bender's Big Score, Bender's Big Game, that sort of stuff. I watched it all the way through, finish of season 10, and got real sad when I finished that show. You know, that sort of sadness you get, there's a little hole in your heart where there's no more of a show to look forward to anymore.
Yeah, you're sort of getting to that point of, what do I watch now? What do I do with my life?
Yeah, I experienced that in full swing, man. There was a little bit of a mourning period, but then I just moved right on to another show. I'm currently watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia at the moment.
Yep.
Very, very funny show. They love to push the envelope in that show, but it's very entertaining. It's just good to see, like, they're just such horrible people. It's good to see them get their comeuppance.
Yep. And you mentioned earlier this week that you watched a pretty big movie that came out recently. What did you think of Godzilla versus Kong?
I thought, man, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great film. I was entertained the whole way through, whether it was an action scene or just the characters, sneaking around. And I feel like there was always like that. Every scene had something that I enjoyed, whether it was big or small. Again, I'm not someone who has like, I haven't gone back to like the 60s and 50s and watched like the original Godzillas and King Kong movies, right? But I guess once I saw it, I was very intrigued. So I went back and watched a few like YouTube clips of all the Easter eggs and references that they put in the Kong vs Godzilla film. There was some real cool callbacks to some old stuff. Like one of them was in one of the later fight scenes where Kong's finally got his axe to kind of even the playing field against Godzilla. There was a moment in that fight where Kong shoved the axe handle down Godzilla's throat, and just like a little thing like that. It was like a callback to like when they were doing it with little puppets or claymation or something, and Kong in one of the old movies shoved a tree down Godzilla's little puppet throat. So little things like that, man, pretty fun. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the film. I remember watching it as well. We got some special seats out the front. Usually, I'd never go for a front seat at the cinema, but they had like these day beds, so we were just laying down like we were at home in bed watching a film and just staring up at this huge big screen. I think that kind of made Kong and Godzilla feel even bigger because we had to like look up right there to see him. It was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I've never actually tried those day beds. Were they comfortable?
Very comfortable, yeah. Very comfortable. I guess you got to be careful that you don't fall asleep because you're lying down and you're in a dark room.
Yep.
But the film was around 3 hours, and I found it that entertaining that I barely even blinked the whole way through.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you were mentioning there's a lot of Godzilla and Kong movies to go back through. I had a look. There's 36 Godzilla movies.
Jesus
and
Christ.
12 Kong movies.
That is a lot.
There's your next big adventure in movie watching.
Yeah, the Monster Universe, is that what it's called?
Yep.
Yeah. I need to learn up on some of the other monsters. There's I know there's Mothra, there's King Ghidorah. They're pretty cool. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I know as well there's I don't know if this is part of the Monster Universe, but there was a Godzilla film maybe before the year 2000 or like around the year 2000. It was like an American one. It wasn't made by the Japanese studio.
Yep.
If I'm correct about that. That was my first ever time watching a Godzilla film as a kid. And I thought it was cool. I really liked it, probably because I was such a big Jurassic Park fan, I liked going back and just seeing clips from it. I liked the design of that Godzilla. I think they call him Shin Godzilla. And I hear that's a very unpopular opinion to have and controversial take to have amongst the Monster Universe fans.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's one of those fandoms that's very hardcore into stick to the original stuff.
I'm bastardizing the fandom.
Yeah, and I had a look. That movie has grossed already $406.6 million and with a budget of $330 million. So they've come out ahead, which has been tough in the last year with the pandemic and everything going on.
Yeah, they've definitely smashed it, haven't they? I think I read somewhere that it's the biggest film opening. It was the biggest film opening weekend grossing after the pandemic, which makes sense because it's such a colossal film.
Yep. Yeah, it's apparently the third highest grossing film of 2021 so far. So well done to the team behind Godzilla vs. Kong.
There you go.
And myself, this past weekend, I watched a movie on Amazon Prime. I'm really enjoying having all these big movies that were supposed to be in cinemas dropping on the streaming services now. I watched a movie called The Mauritanian.
Okay.
It's a legal drama based on a book called the Guantanamo Diary by a man called Mohamedou Ould Slahi, who was held in Guantanamo Bay for 14 years and was never charged with anything.
Never charged for anything?
Never charged at all.
Oh my lord!
After 14 years, they let him out.
Why did they put him in there in the first place? Or are we getting into spoiler territory?
No, so right from the start, he's at a birthday party. The Mauritanian police show up and they arrest him. And they let him drive to the police station. So he thinks, okay, I'm just going in now. I'll be home. And he doesn't come home for 14 years because he received a phone call on a satellite phone that just so happened to be Osama bin Laden's phone calling him. So based on all of that, and he had very minor connections with some of the 9/11 terrorist pilots. And because of that, they just held him in Guantanamo while they interrogated him and tried to find and get proof that he had connections to the 9/11 attacks.
Jesus, what a swerve. I wasn't expecting any of that. That's crazy.
Yeah, so it was a very
that's like 0 to 100, man. 0 to 100.
And yes, it stars Jodie Foster and Tahir Rahim plays Slahi. And it's also got Benedict Cumberbatch in it, so it had another pretty stacked cast. Wow. Jodie Foster ended up winning Best Supporting Actress at the Golden Globes, and Tahir was nominated for Best Actor. So it had awesome performances throughout. And yeah, like I said, very heavy movie in terms of it's all based on his personal recollections of what happened. It dives into the enhanced interrogation, so torture and all of that sort of stuff. And it reveals that obviously there was that torture aspect, but then during all of these interrogations, they had these documents where they noted everything down, but then those documents were never released outside of the prison. What was released were these other statements that had no names of the interrogators or the people involved, no dates. It was literally just basically a list of all of the information that they deemed pertinent to his case. And essentially that meant it was only the things that pushed towards their theory that he was connected to the 9/11 case.
Wow.
And then, so Jodie Foster, who plays his lawyer, she gets sent all these documents. At one point, the first batch of documents she has is just like 8 or 9 boxes of documents, and they're all just totally redacted. Everything on the page is blacked out. So she's like, why did you even bother sending me this? Like, it's just 8 boxes of blacked out paper that I can't even use.
Jesus, there's some real politics going on in Guantanamo Bay, huh? When you were describing the plot and what was going down, one of the questions in my head I had was interrogation. All right, it sounds like they might be torturing this guy to get some information out of him. Other torture scenes or the interrogation scenes in this film quite graphic?
No, they don't. They show them in like brief glimpses where it's sort of him having little flashbacks. So you never get like full on waterboarding or beatings and things like that. You just get little snippets here and there, which I think is probably more impactful because you don't get too much and feel like, oh, I need to turn away from this.
Yeah. Wow. Leave it up to the imagination a little bit.
Yep. I thought it was a really enjoyable movie and probably like an important one that I think people need to see to sort of get an idea of what happened in Guantanamo now that I think it's shut down. It might still be open, actually.
Okay, wow. Yeah, it sounds like I've got another one to add to the watch list. My watch list on Amazon Prime is just like forever growing, but then I rarely ever make a dent in that watch list. I've been surfing Amazon Prime a fair bit lately, actually. I've canceled my Netflix subscription because I just feel like, I don't know, I'm not getting as much out of Netflix as I am out of Amazon Prime and Disney Plus and Stan as well. Like I luckily have that one for free. But yeah, it sounds like another one to add to the watch list.
Yeah, I found I do the same thing where I kind of just rotate through the subscriptions.
Yeah.
So have Netflix for a couple of months, watch all the things, then go to something else and let the Netflix back catalog bank up. And then when I go back, I can watch a heap of stuff at once.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, man.
And then, yeah, after watching The Mauritanian, I'm kind of tempted to now go and watch the Adam Driver movie, The Report, because it kind of dives into similar themes, but I think in a different way. So we'll see what we get up to this weekend.
Okay, I have no idea what that's about at all.
From what I gather from the little description, it's very similar. It's about a report that came out that revealed that, hey, they're torturing people in Guantanamo and nobody
Okay,
knows.
wow. It sounds like you're going down a rabbit hole, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very specific Guantanamo Bay torture.
Yep. Yeah, probably not the greatest thing to be like, yeah, I'm doing this now. But we've also got some fun stuff this weekend. You've got your big PWA show this weekend. How are you feeling?
Yeah, man. I'm feeling very, very excited for it. I've been trying my best over the last couple of months to keep, fit, happy, and healthy as best I can. Just like working my way through rehab and getting my body as good as I can, so I can perform as best as I can. It's very cool that this weekend show we're coming back to Max Watts for the first time since the pandemic, and Paris and I will get to main event that show inside Max Watts against Aussie Open. This is like a really big match for us. We've got a bit of history with Aussie Open, and now we get to put that performance on our home stage in the main event back at our home venue. So very, very stoked, very excited for this one. It's a big show.
I know the pandemic has been terrible in terms of it's taken some things away from you as well, but
yeah,
is it nice to have some of these guys back in Australia and wrestling with PWA again?
Yeah, man, it really is. It's the best outcome out of a very unfortunate situation. I like to think of it as making chicken salad out of chicken shit. Like for these guys, obviously very hard. Like they were stuck in lockdown in the UK, and they both kind of just made their way back to Australia like in their own time, and they both just kind of wound up here. And then things started opening back up again in Australia. Lockdowns were eased, restrictions were eased, and they had an opportunity to put back into the wrestling scene here and start performing and training again here with the rest of us. So it's a blessing in disguise for the Australian wrestling scene and for all the boys and girls on the Australian like roster and the locker rooms to have people like Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis be able to perform and train with us, because they bring such a wealth of experience and knowledge back home to the Australian scene.
And then in terms of like the things that the pandemic's taken away from you, we've just sort of gone past that 1 year mark of when you were supposed to debut as the Velocities with PWG. How does that sort of moment when it hit?
That like it obviously sucked. It was pretty devastating, but I have full faith knowing that we were good enough to be recognized for what we do as a tag team here in Australia, to be considered or given the platform to do what we do on PWG. I'm 100% confident that we'll just get it eventually, or get it again when the borders and restrictions open up in the USA as well. So it definitely sucked at the time, but just like I kind of said before, we just tried to make the best out of a bad situation by focusing as much as we could on ourselves and healing up back home. And we were fortunate enough to train at home and perform shows, whether it was in front of no fans or limited fans back home. So we were able to keep running, man, and shake off that ring rust and stay in good shape and continue to come up with new and innovative ways to perform and to wrestle. So I guess long-winded answer, but I'm very confident that we'll just eventually make our way to PWG as a tag team.
Yeah, I have no doubt in that's going to happen eventually. So looking forward to seeing that. And now a quick word from our sponsors. This week's episode of The Commentary Booth is brought to you by LF9 Designs. Are you in need of a new logo, event poster, Twitch overlays or emotes, or even merchandise designs? Look no further than LF9 Design. for all of your graphic needs. The team there can create anything you need to suit all of your styles. Contact Luke at LF9 Design at gmail.com or follow them over on Instagram at LF9 Design. Our second sponsor this week is CR Swim. Swim smart and swim fast. CR Swim provides top-level coaching for swimmers of all levels competing in all aspects of the sport. They focus on providing technique support, swimming efficiency coaching, and energy systems training to help you be the best swimmer you can possibly be. Check them out over on Facebook at CR Swim Squad or on Instagram at CR_swim. Yeah, in terms of like what the pandemic has done to the world, I watched a documentary on Apple TV Plus this week as well called The Year That Earth Changed.
Oh, I heard about that one.
Yeah, so it's a David Attenborough documentary, which is always a good starting point. It debuted on April 16th, and it's based on all of this footage from different parts of the world over the last year when the lockdowns were in full swing and what impact that has had on the environment and the animals that are living within that environment. So during the movie, we sort of see that all these animals have started to come back to life and go into places where they obviously wouldn't go before because of the impact of humans and just the presence of humans in certain places. So we see that some birds in like the major cities and whales in these major shipping lanes have all started to sing songs.
Wow.
And communicate in ways that they hadn't before because they were just drowned out by the noise.
Wow, that's incredible. Nature's pretty incredible, man.
Yeah, they just bounced back completely. There's footage of like deer in Japan just wandering through the city to get to this one patch of grass that was still in the middle of the city where they used to feed.
Wow.
The air pollution and water pollution drops dramatically in major areas, in particular India. The Himalayas can finally be seen after years and decades of not being able to be seen from cities.
Wow.
Which is wild when you think that's the largest mountain range in the world and they were just invisible because of smog.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about.
We see that the nesting success of loggerhead sea turtles improves from 40% to 61% simply because there's nobody on the beaches to disturb them.
Do you know where? I want to say that they're an endangered species, but I'm not exactly sure. Do you know where that was in the world?
It was in Florida, so when they nest during spring break. So obviously beaches there are packed.
There you go.
And then probably the most striking footage was there was a film crew filming like animals around a resort in Africa, and they all come up to where the buildings are and start feeding on the gardens and whatnot. And then the cameraman turns around and there's a leopard just approaching him, and it's about 5 meters away from it. It's just wandering through this resort like nothing strange, and the guy's just like, nobody move, and it just wanders up, looks at them, and then walks away. Like, I don't know how that guy stayed so calm.
That's crazy. They probably deal with it on not a regular basis, but probably more encounters with a leopard than you'd want. Because they're definitely strong enough to take you out quick and drag you up a tree.
Oh yeah, it was huge. It easily could have taken him down if it decided it wanted to, but yeah, he's just stayed perfectly still, stayed nice and calm, and it just wandered off.
Wow. Maybe it's the group setting, strength in numbers that the leopard was a little intimidated by. Maybe that was his saving grace.
So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It's like a super uplifting one to watch when you try and look back at what's happened this last year. It's like, well, at least there was some positive to come out of it. The animals and the earth itself just rebounded, and it gave it a chance to sort of heal itself, I guess.
Yeah, man. David Attenborough documentaries in general are just always so fun and amazing to watch. But then there's that trope with nature documentaries that they always like kind of end on a bit of a sad note because the way that humans are populating the world so fast and taking over, and obviously that balance has to shift and nature takes a hit. But it's kind of funny the way the universe kind of pans out. Now we're in a pandemic, and that gave nature and wildlife a chance to flourish again and bounce back. So that is a real nice silver lining.
Yeah, and then I looked at some stats. This is currently the most viewed documentary on Apple TV Plus, so that's a positive. It's beating all of the Oprah conversation series, the Beastie Boys documentary, and the Billie Eilish documentary. So I was pretty surprised that this one little documentary that's only 40 minutes, like it's a real quick watch, is beating everything at the moment.
Wow. There you go, man. Nature's way. And definitely the name value of David Attenborough would have definitely helped boost up those numbers. I'm glad more people should know about conservation and things like that.
Yep. And then just sort of to close out, I thought we'd do some fun stuff with you in terms of your limited movie knowledge.
Oh no. Okay. What do you got planned for me, man?
I've come up with a game that I've titled Jude's Plot Holes. And I'm going to give you the title of a movie, and then I want you to try and tell me what the movie's about.
Oh, okay. That sounds like it could be fun for everyone except me. So let's give it a go, man.
That's all right. I've tried to pick some pretty major movies, so you should have hopefully a few of these that you've seen.
Okay.
I'm going to go with, first up, an Oscar-winning movie for Best Picture called Parasite.
Parasite. Oh, okay. This one's on my watch list. I haven't seen it yet, but I know it's a little bit like the movie Get Out. So I'm going to say there's a dude, I think in Korea, goes on a holiday with his friends, not family, but his friends, and stumbles upon a secret lab where they are putting parasites in people to try and take over the human race. I don't know. That's my best guess. Tell me how close or far away I was.
You got some elements correct. It is in Korea, and the main character is a man, but
Good.
he's
okay. I got 2 out of 10.
he's a teenager that begins tutoring a wealthy family's daughter, and then he slowly sort of helps all his family members get jobs with this rich family, and then they slowly just kind of take over their lives.
Oh, man. Okay.
It's a very good one. I recommend checking it out.
Yeah, a lot of people were raving on about it last year. I think the best thing I said was the first thing I said, where I know it's a little bit like Get Out, and then everything else I said, it was just downhill.
Yep. And then the next one, I'll be shocked if you haven't seen this one, Bad Boys.
Oh, no. I don't even know what that is. I have no clue. I have zero idea. Okay. It's about I got no clue, man. It's a rival rap group to the Beastie Boys.
No. It's two detectives, Martin Lawrence, Marcus Burnett and Mike Lowry, who are Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. And they're just like these two crazy, smart-ass detectives that go around and try and stop these criminals from dealing drugs in their city.
Okay. Is that a comedy?
It's meant to be an action movie, but it's pretty funny. It's kind of like action comedy.
Okay, cool, man. I'm not doing great so far, am I?
Not the best, no. The next one is Blade Runner.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to describe this. I watched the remake like last year, but I have a terrible memory, so I'm going to have to think about this. It's set in like a dystopian future. I always get Blade Runner and Gattaca mixed up. Dude, I can't tell you. There's some cyborg people and they're chasing each other around, but I don't know I don't know the reason why. I think the main character falls in love with a cyborg lady or something, and there's like a bad dude, because of course there is, because it's a movie and there are bad dudes in movies. And the end fight scene is like in a dark, dingy house, and they make their way up to a rainy rooftop, and then I can't remember the finish. But I think that the actor is the guy who played, who's that guy in Star Wars that's Chewbacca's friend?
Yep, Harrison Ford.
Yeah, see, this is how I think about movies and acting, man. I'm terrible at this sort of stuff. So that's my description of Blade Runner. Something 99.
So yeah, the sequel that just came out recently is Blade Runner 2049. The original is set in 2019. And yeah, it's basically about a cop who's hunting down androids known as replicants who you're trying to... They're basically trying to assimilate and become humans.
Yeah, okay.
And he's got to try and catch them.
I totally forgot that he was a cop. I was like, why are they trying to kill each other? I can't remember. Yeah, I couldn't remember at all.
So then there's a real big one, nice Australian one, since we've just got some news about it. Mad Max.
Oh, never watched any of them. It's in a desert for some reason, like a wasteland world after the apocalypse maybe. And I think it's like desert gangs, like trying to survive and stuff, because there's like limited food and resources and what have you. And they chase each other around and shoot each other up on like weird little scrap vehicles and scrap weapons. Like they just make everything out of scrap. I kind of cheated because I know about half of that because they did a Rick and Morty episode about it.
You got to love when you can get away with stuff like that. But yeah, that's probably the closest you've been so far. It's basically just gangs of people. There's a fuel crisis, so there's virtually no fuel available, which means there's not a lot of food and resources around. So it's everybody just trying to get by and survive however they can.
Okay, you know what? I'll take that one, man.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. That's a win for that one.
Yeah.
Let's go two more. Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, I only know one thing about this movie. Again, never seen it. My uncle has it on his big shelf of DVDs. Actually, maybe I did see it as a kid and I was very confused because I was like, I'll pick up this random movie. But it's about two cowboys. I think they're either cowboys or like farmers or something. And they find out that they are in love with each other and they make out in a tent.
Yep.
Two homosexual cowboy farmer guys.
Yep, that's another win. Well done.
Yeah.
And then the last one is Babe.
Oh, okay. It's about a pig in the city, I think. Or it's about a pig. The last time I watched this is when I was like 6 years old. I don't remember. Is there a spider in this movie? Or is that like the spider from Charlotte's Web? I don't know.
There's a spider. Charlotte's Web.
That's Charlotte's Web. There's a pig, and I think it's like a babe in the big city. Is that one of the movies? All I remember is the pig, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, so there's
talking pig with some talking animal friends.
The original is called Babe, and then there's a sequel, Babe, Pig in the City.
Pig in the City.
And the original is basically this pig that gets adopted by a farmer and raised alongside a bunch of sheepdogs. So the pig thinks it's a sheepdog and starts herding sheep at the local show.
You know what? That sounds like something I'd enjoy today. I should go back and watch that.
Yeah, there you go. You can watch that tonight after you take Toby for a walk.
Nice, man.
Alrighty, so that's basically everything for this week. What would be your pick of the week in terms of things that people should be checking out?
You know what? I would say Kong vs. Godzilla because that's the last one I saw and that was pretty dope. But I'd say that my pick of the week is there's a movie that I want to see that's out in cinemas right now. It's called Nobody, and it's by the guy who made, I think he either created or directed the John Wick franchise. From what I've heard about it, it's very similar to John Wick, but a little bit more, with a bit more comedy thrown in there. So
I saw that recently.
Okay. Well, quick number rating out of 10. What do you reckon?
I think I gave it 3.5 out of 5. So it's cheesy and it's not going to blow you away in terms of the the plot and the writing, but it's a really enjoyable movie to watch especially if you like John Wick.
Beauty. That's okay, man. I was worried. I thought you were going to say 3.5 out of 10 for a second. I went, oh no.
No.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that.
Yep. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy that one. For me, it's The Mauritanian. And then for wrestling fans, obviously, PWA on Saturday night on fight.tv.
That's it, man. Aussie Open versus Velocity. It's going to be a big one.
So thank you, everyone, for listening to the commentary booth. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media at Jamie Apps Media and at Pario Magazine. You can follow Jude over on Twitter at Jude Dude London. And obviously watch him defend the PWA tag team titles this weekend.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for having me, Jamie. I had a blast, even though I feel like I got fairly exposed in this podcast. I still had a great time chatting about movies and stuff, man.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
The Commentary Booth is a fan-funded production of Jamie Apps Media. You can support the podcast alongside our new magazine, Pario Magazine, on Patreon at patreon.com/Jamie Apps Media. The following people have supported at the publisher level or higher, and you cannot fathom how incredibly appreciative we are for their support. Brian and June Hart, Courtney Paulson, Tracy Apps.